Hey, greetings and salutations, everybody, on this wonderful day. It's Sunday where you're at. Yeah, because I foresaw this in the future. No, I'm not. I'm not teleported into the future or anything like that. But however, this video will come out this Sunday. But I did want to talk to you guys about the Celero 5G, and I'm gonna give you guys just basically my honest opinions about this phone. But I will tell you guys off jump so you guys understand. For someone who pretty much uses Google Pixel phones. That's like the brand that I choose to use. It is a bit, well, I'm lying. It is really refreshing to use something that's a non-Pixel phone and also a mid-range device. So big shout out to Boost Mobile for sending out this device for me to review for all you guys and just for me to play around with and have like a good refresher. So yes, in this video, I'm going to give you all the good. I'm going to let you know what some of the bads are. And I'm going to give you my overall perception of this phone. Clear in this video. So let's go ahead and just start off. I'll have the specs thrown up on the screen here for you guys to kind of read for yourselves. But I will name some of the obvious points of the specifications of this phone, right? 6.5-inch display. That's what it's rocking. It is rocking a 8-megapixel shooter in the front. And it's not a heavy teardrop notch, but it is a notch nonetheless in the center. We got a 60-megapixel camera on the back with a 5-megapixel wide-angle shooter and a 2-megapixel telephoto. So those are the cameras. I believe I said 6.5-inch display, and the display is actually really nice. We have 4,000 milliamp hour battery on this, 64 gigs of onboard storage with 4 gigabytes of RAM. And the processor is the MediaTek MT6833. That is the processor on here. Now, if you want to know who actually manufactures the Celero device, it is a company called Wingtech. So that is a company, I believe it's based out of China, that builds this phone, right? So, and if you're going to say anything about Chinese manufactured phones, then why are you backing OnePlus? That's what I'm going to tell people, because OnePlus is a Chinese device. So is Xiaomi. So is, Motorola. Motorola is owned by Lenovo, which is a Chinese company. So Chinese companies, they build pretty decent phones. And Wingtech, they did a pretty good one with this one. I have to say that much. Now, going over the design of the phone, okay? Because some people do obviously care about hardware. I'm more of a software guy, but I will go over the hardware with you guys and some things that I actually find really, really nice about the hardware. The design language of this phone and everything like that. Yes, they embody what's been used by different companies over the last couple of years. Square camera module on the back, right? So people will kind of point the obvious out on that and say, okay, you know what? Like they're going in the same route like what the Google Pixels did for a short period of time and what Apple's done for quite a while. And, Motorola has done it. But there's a difference though. While there is a square camera module on the back, it sits nearly flush with the device. Okay. It's not protruding out quite a bit. So with that, I can appreciate that. You got 3 sensors and then they put the flash as it makes it look like a force sensor. And it kind of is, but it's for flash. It's not for taking photo. I think it's a nice touch. And I love the fact that it sits flush into the body slightly. It's not really like out there protruding. So this is like kind of like the same language that was done with the Pixel 5. The Pixel 5's camera module on the back is not really protruding out of the device. And I kind of like that. Of course, you definitely want to get a case for this because I said in the initial unboxing video that this was plastic because it felt like it to me. It seems that it's actually glass, and it could be glass that's just frosted, which is actually nice. On the side is where your fingerprint sensor is, so it's not in your usual places. It's not an in-display sensor. It's not on the back sensor. It's not at the bottom chin sensor. It's on the side, which is, to me, is like a nod back to the Nextbit Robin, which was a concept phone that, a couple of people who wanted to build that phone eventually got help on Kickstarter to build. And while I, don't want to get too much into the Nextbit Robin, but I just gotta say, like, that was a pretty nice phone. This kind of tops that. So yeah, I dig the fact that the biometric sensor is on the side. The biometric sensor is also a button too, so it is clickable when you push on it. The volume rocker feels nice, slightly tactile, but not too much emphasis on the click, but definitely. Now, one thing that I will say about the volume rocker and the power button that is kind of a negative, is that there's not really much of a difference as far as feeling between the power button and the volume rockers. And some people expect the power button to be above the volume above the volume rocker, but it's actually below it. So you might actually catch yourself trying to raise the volume by pushing the power button, and then you're gonna realize, oh yeah, that's right, the volume rocker's on top. So just keep that in mind. There are cases for this phone. Boost Mobile has the BTAC case. If you don't know what that is, never heard of it, Boost Mobile shops sell these cases. They're like in-house branded cases. They have like the Boost Mobile logo on them, and they look like OtterBox cases. So they do have a couple of BTAC cases for this. I've seen a red one and a black one. I'm not sure if they have like any other additional colors, like a blue one or anything like that, but definitely look it up online. Google is your best friend on that one, and just head to boostmobile.com and look at accessories, and that will actually be your ultimate friend. With the hardware also, we get a USB 2.0 Type-C port. We get a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack right there, and that's really nice to have. And we also have speakers right there, and a microphone, the microphone next to the headphone jack. Now, here's the thing about the headphone jack that I want to kind of really point out, and that is, you know, I'm a person that likes to go on road trips and stuff like that. And sometimes when you got to plug your phone in to charge, you know, if you needed to charge up a lot quicker, then you want to disable the Bluetooth antenna. But disabling that could disconnect your music from your stereo deck in your car. So when you have a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack and you have an auxiliary line in your vehicle, you save on battery power by plugging in that line. So hopefully in future iterations of the Celero, they keep the headphone jack. A lot of companies said that they were going to keep the headphone jack and then ended up getting rid of it. If you guys are on Instagram quite a bit, you guys probably are well aware of the fact that wired headphones and earbuds are making a comeback in fashion trend. So a lot of people are starting to use them again instead of truly wireless earbuds. And in order for you to use one without having to buy an additional adapter, you need the headphone jack on the device. So that's pretty much it for hardware wise. And let me go over the software of this thing. Now, for it having a MediaTek processor and running Android 11, this kind of shows the capabilities of Android 11. It is very smooth and seems very fluid at times when using it. Now, is there some stutter, hiccups, and jank? Of course there is, obviously. But it's not like excruciating, painful to look at. It's not superly unbearable to maneuver with. It is pretty smooth for what it is. You know, I'm not going to go and set this to say that this has got to contend against the Galaxy S21 Ultra. But it is really smooth. Really, really smooth. Really smooth, really responsive. And that's what I like. All right. For it having a MediaTek processor, which a lot of people have known, MediaTek processors have not really yielded the best results with devices that actually use those chipsets here in North America. So it's really nice to see that the 6833 is actually able to keep up with how I use my device and be able to perform in that manner, which has changed my entire outlook on the MediaTek processor, just to let you guys know. So yeah, doing things like recording video and taking pictures. If you guys are following me on Instagram, I've posted some photos I took from the Celero 5G. I posted them and I tagged it that it was from the Celero. I gotta say this, the cameras is a hit and miss for me. It's a hit and miss because when you have great lighting, or if it's like daylight and you're outside, you're gonna get phenomenal shots with these cameras. They do very good when there is adequate lighting. But if you're hoping for like some sort of night shot, night mode, or night sight with the Celero 5G, that's non-existent. There is even this weird thing that happens even when you have light, and I did demo this in a YouTube Shorts, but when recording video, when you switch between wide angle and normal, the amount of light let in changes. So in one moment, I'm recording a video, and it's everything in the foreground shot that I'm recording is lit up. You know, you can see things, but the moment that I switch it out for a more wider shot, and this is during the recording, right? So you've already hit the record button and it's going. As soon as I, switch it up for a much wider shot, and it, kind of backs out for that wider shot, it makes it look like that there's like barely any light in the room. It goes nearly dark on the video. And so that's something that I think that Boost and Dish need to kind of like consult with Wingtech about in the future with the type of camera sensors that they're using. So when taking photos is fine. Low lights, it's not going to perform so well. You will get some very noisy shots. And recording normally, you're going to have decent lighting at night. You're going to have a pretty decent video. But the moment that you try to do a wide, and you try to back out away from it and do a wide, you are going to hit that. What happened here, there's like someone overlaid, photo film over it and darkened everything. So that's something that, would I say that it's going to completely kill the experience? No, but you need to be well aware of it to understand that that's going to happen when recording video. So in my area, I would definitely say that the camera is about a 7 because it can take really good photos. There's a photo that I took and someone mistaken it for a photo that came from a Pixel. So that speaks high volumes of the Celero 5G because Pixel cameras do very, very well with still shots. And seeing that, someone misidentified the photo to that tells me that the camera is actually decent enough for everyday photography that you're going to be doing. So a 7 out of 10, I give the camera straight out. The selfie cam does pretty good too as well. I don't see too much of a hiccup with the selfie cam. So taking selfies is going to be actually pretty cool. You're going to get your selfie shots. But again, remember, low light is not in the DNA of the Celero currently right now. Maybe in future iterations of the Celero devices, they will implement low light shots. But for right now, it's not in its DNA. So that's a big bummer because I really wish they did implemented that into this phone. All right, so moving away from cameras, let me go with audio on this thing. Now that's another area that I think that they can really kind of work on. Again, Boost can actually, survey this back to Wingtech and just let them know, like, hey, put a little something more beefier. Nowadays, manufacturers, especially mid-range and budget, are putting better components into a phone. When it comes to audio and the speakers that they use, they're using something that's got a little bit more nalgas to it, right? A little bit more oomph to the sound. And while this is clear, get me wrong, the audio is nice and loud. So if you're going to play your music, you're going to hear it. If you're going to listen to a YouTube video, watch a movie, you're going to hear it just fine. But it's a little bit on the flat side. I wouldn't really classify this as a squawk box, but it's teetering on the edge of that. So while I can listen to everything and it's been great, I don't really have much of a complaint of the audio to say that, it makes me frustrated. It doesn't. I'll watch my HBO Max shows on here. I'll watch YouTube. I'll do all that stuff on the Celero. But comparing it to what I've used, like the Pixel 4, the Pixel 6, the Pixel 5 that I'm recording this with, it is a little bit on the flatter side. But best news is that it is loud and clear. So it doesn't crackle at 100% max volume. You don't feel like you're going to blow the speaker out. So it's handling its own pretty well. So on that, when it comes to audio, definitely going to give that one about a 6.5 on that. I think that in future iterations, Wingtech should definitely use a much more punchier speaker that would create a better depth and feel of audio. Just keep that in mind. Let me see. The software on this thing is really well. Android 11 is just well optimized to be able to run on the Celero 5G. And I'm not saying it like like Android is such a weak operating system at all whatsoever. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of power behind it. But seeing what it can do, because that was always been one of the biggest problems with MediaTek and Android, was how Android ran on a device that used a MediaTek processor, right? We're talking Celero, we're talking all those devices from back in the day. To see the Celero 5G really perform and shine is something that's really, really cool. I can't tell you guys, it's like, wow. I don't even feel like I'm using a mid-ranger when I am using this. Now, of course, that's my perception, right? People use their smartphones for different things and in many different ways. The way that I use my device is basically contacts with people. So social media a lot, Twitter a lot, Facebook a lot, YouTube, I do a lot of that stuff. I check emails for work. I check emails on a daily basis with, with brands. communicating back and forth, text messaging, phone calls, video calling, all that good stuff. So that is my type of usage. I rarely game on phones. I just don't do it. That's just me. I don't really game a lot. So because I don't game a lot, I can't really tell you guys, like, on the beefier side games, what would actually bring this to its knees, if in fact, if it ever does. However, I will share the glory of the Celero 5G. Check out CV Tech's channel, because I know he's going to test gaming on it, and you'll be able to see how well it performs with gaming. Now, if you're going to ask me something about Pokemon Go, this is a go for Pokemon Go. I can play. It's fine. One of the final things I'm going to be discussing is the power of the device, and not performance, but the battery life of this 4,000 milliamp beast inside of here, right? So I've had the phone on standby for the last couple of days. The last time I charged this device was the day after I got it, when I received it from Boost Mobile and it came in. I charged it that night. Since then, I haven't charged the phone, and it's at 60%. It's at 60%. So when you got 60% battery for standby on one charge, since I've gotten it, one charge, that's really good power management. The fact is that this thing can sit on your desk and maintain. The fact that, it's sipping battery when it's not in use is insane. One of the things I do know is, like, yes, I feel like that the MT6833 does have some sort of power management and does kind of like close out things completely, because while I had this on standby for like a day and a half, day or 2 days, I had this on standby. It was sitting on my desk. The moment that I started interacting with the screen, all of a sudden, every notification just started coming through in the last 2 days. So, and I did not have Do Not Disturb turned on. So therefore, it literally like had everything pretty much sipping battery until it knew I was working with the phone, and then decided to, okay, everyone wake up, kick back on, let's send those notifications, and boom, one after another just came, and I was like, whoa, okay. So it sips battery if you're going to have it on standby. If you're going to use this like as a backup device, as a secondary device, then yeah, you don't have to worry about the battery dying so quickly. As far as like during usage and stuff like that, it handles fairly well. If you're watching a lot of media content, that's where it's going to kill the battery pretty quickly. As one of the days that I had it and I decided to watch a bunch of movies on it, I was able to kill this 4,000 milliamp hour battery in about 5.5 hours, almost 6 hours. And now that was like, doing like high res viewing and relying on 5G, which is the last thing I'm going to talk about in this pretty long video, the Celero 5G, and that is 5G connectivity. Now, I ran a test, and I have that video up if you guys want to go check it out. I had Boost Mobile in my Pixel 6, and then, of course, obviously, the Celero runs Boost Mobile. Doing speed tests within this spot, the Celero was able to get better connections. And when I go out places, and I had Boost in both phones, and I would run a speed test just to see, then when they were both connected to the same NR bands and the 5G network, which is these are on the expanded network, so they're actually connected to T-Mobile, not AT&T. The Celero did far better with network speeds. The type of modem that's in this device, I am not sure. I'm still looking for that information, so I can provide that in the future full review of the Celero 5G. However, the modem in this device is actually pretty powerful compared to the Pixel 6. The Pixel 6 did well. I'm not saying that it was horrible and trash, but where I was getting maybe about 250 on the download and about 80 on the upload, the Celero was pulling about 300 to 400 down and 100 up. So just to let you guys know, when it comes to network connectivity, this phone is no slouch. All in all, really what I would say about the Celero 5G, it's a really good device for sub $300. This sub $300, I wouldn't have expected that. I would have expected this phone to be about $450 or less. It's sub $300. Even $379.99, I would have thought this would have been, and it's it's less than that. So it's very surprising that the pricing on it is what I consider to be something that is for us nowadays, for all the stuff that we've dealt with in the last 2 years. You know, I feel like that this kind of compensates. It's like, hey, let's get you a really nice device, a nice powerful device, you know, great mid-ranger, but we're not going to break your wallet, and you're certainly not going to have to sell a kidney to get one of these. The camera performance, the battery performance, the software performance is shocking in a very, very good way, a very good way. And yeah, as far as I'm concerned, and you can put this on record, but I'm not going to give up the Boost Mobile line on this device because I really, really like this phone. This will stay in cycle as one of my daily drivers. So I have the Pixel 6 on Verizon, I have the Pixel 5 on Los Mobile, and I have the Celero 5G on Boost Mobile. So that is going to be the plan. That's pretty much it for this video. I try to make it as short as possible, but I have so much to cover on this. So if you guys enjoyed this video, y'all know what to do. Smash the like button. If you watched this all the way through, hashtag Celero. So I know that you made it all the way through to this. And tell me, what about this phone intrigues you? What other questions you may have so I can answer those in future videos. Please put that in the comment section of the video. Excuse my dog for barking this morning. 5-star security alarm. And yeah, smash the like button if you guys enjoyed it. If you have not subscribed to my channel, I would appreciate that. If you guys did, turn on notifications so you guys don't miss another video. And that is it right now. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully your Sunday was great. And I will talk to you on the next one. And as always, aloha.